What is going on, everybody? It's the Franz. We're back again for our Monday Night Raw review from July 30th, 2018. We are fastly approaching SummerSlam with three. That's right, three. To any podcasters out there who are saying there are 2 weeks left until SummerSlam, you are a buffoon who cannot count. There are 3 Sundays 3 weeks until we get to SummerSlam, but that's not the point. We had ourselves an eventful, I guess, if you want to say, not really, Monday Night Raw. We had the return of Ronda Rousey after her 30-day plus suspension due to, of course, her attacking Alexa Bliss on what was supposed to be her last week of suspension. We saw her come back and get a match made for next week. So, yes, Ronda Rousey will be wrestling her first Monday Night Raw match next week. We expected a confrontation between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar this week, but that did not happen. Brock Lesnar was in the building, but refused to come out until the very, very last moments of the show. We'll get into that later. WWE trying to portray Roman Reigns as a sympathetic babyface is not going to work. And yes, they were in Miami, Florida, so any positivity Roman Reigns chance that they got tonight, it was, I guess you could say, expected more than it would be in New York. Anybody who saw tonight's show and you hear the "We want Roman sucks" chance, you're going to, when we get closer and closer to SummerSlam, you're going to see that this is not working. It may sound like everything WWE wants from Roman Reigns is working, but this was Miami, Florida. This is home of The Rock. This is the home of Roman Reigns' cousin. He's probably been around the Florida area and is well known in the Florida area. So he is going to be loved in the Florida area other than outside of a place like New York, where New York is going to probably eviscerate this match still. You're not going to get Let's Go Roman sucks chance at SummerSlam. You're just going to get fuck this match. This is boring. We want Strowman the entire match. So look forward to that at SummerSlam. Do not take tonight's chance from the crowd as, oh, it's working. WWE, Vince is finally getting what he wants. You're going to hear the crowd chant, we want Roman. That is tonight in Miami, Florida, where he would probably be more well received compared to New York City. Do not compare Brooklyn, New York, or New York City to Miami, Florida. Plain and simple. We also had ourselves a match for whatever reason they wanted to put with the Leader of Worlds taking on the Revival, which I don't know what's going on with the tag team division, but the tag team division is dead, plain and simple. And you hear people wanting to talk about women's tag team titles, how we're going to have women's tag team championships. Look at the men's tag team titles on both Raw and SmackDown. Look how trash they are. You have the B team, the B team right now holding the Raw tag team titles are just as bad as Jinder Mahal being the WWE champion for 7 months last year. Same thing. They were glorified jobbers. They were not a threat to anybody. Then all of a sudden they changed their name from the Miztourage to the B team, and what do we have? Oh, they are the tag team champions. No, you gotta, winning against fluky teams like Breezango or Slater and Rhino, the same, back-to-back weeks, does not make you a credible team. So having the B team, and these two are third-generation superstars. You have Bo Dallas, who is son of Mike Rotundo, and I think I don't remember who his grandfather is, but I know he has, Barry Windham's in his family, too. And then you have Curtis Axel, who is the son of Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig, and Larry the Axe Hennig is his grandfather. And you have these two looking like utter fucking buffoons every single time they come out there, wearing these shirts that look like you just went out there, grabbed a white shirt off them at Walmart, and just drew a big B on there. I'm telling you right now, Kurt Hennig is rolling in his grave. Right now. Kurt Hennig is rolling in his grave with how his son is being portrayed on TV. It's a shame. Absolute shame. On the other spectrum, outside of that match, we had Akam Rezar pretty much get made fool of by Titus Worldwide. You had Akam in a match against Apollo Crews. And I hate this when you have a tag team like the Revival or the Authors of Pain, or when the Hardy Boys are one thing that's like totally different. But you have a team like the Authors of Pain or the Revival who are tag team specialists. Oh, what do? Let's put one in a tag team. Let's put one member in a singles match against another member of a makeshift team in a singles match to see what they can do as a singles competitor. They did this with the Bludgeon Brothers against the Usos. You had that happen a couple times earlier this year. I hate when they do that. They are tag team specialists. They do not wrestle in singles matches. Why are you putting them in singles matches? It makes no goddamn sense. And then, of course, what do you have? You have Apollo Crews beat Akam in a fluky way, the same way Matt Hardy lost over and over and over again to the B team. You people want women's tag team championships. You want to see women's tag team championships. Maybe in NXT, maybe you could do something with that with like Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox, who is Nixon Newell. Those two are friends. And maybe Candice LeRae and somebody else and a couple other women. But on the main roster, women's tag team titles are going to be as much of a joke as the men's. It's just, if WWE wants to have these women's tag team championships, no, not in this day and age, no, just no. Let me see what else we had going on here. Oh yeah, we had Bayley and Sasha Banks versus their rivals, renewing their, I guess, mild rivalry with the Riot Squad, because we haven't seen that enough. Again, and again, and again. If it wasn't for the Bayley and Sasha Banks mini feud that they had before they decided to have Sasha Banks be like, I love you, Bayley. You're my best friend. I love you, always have and always will. This has got to be leading to something, because, no. I'm not feeling it. Like, you have Corey Graves sitting there, like, starting off still that Sasha Banks is going to stab Bayley in the back. At this point, I don't even care. You have these two, like, on, off, and I just don't even care, really. I don't. They took this entire rivalry, which should have been something, and killed it. To where I don't even care. Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins also happened on the show, which was a very, very good match until the end, of course, because, Dolph Ziggler got involved. But it was a really good match. The one downside I always hear, and I've also had this too, I believe Jim Ross talked about this too on his podcast years ago, is when you have a good match on TV, like Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre was tonight, and these guys are going full speed, and they're the full speed. They're in I can't think of a racing thing, but like they're at top speed and they're like going 0 to 60 in 10 seconds, and they just going off on each other, and they're having a hell of a match. And then all of a sudden, commercial. In the building, it's fine, but for people watching at home, you lose a lot of momentum for that match because of the commercial break, especially with how long commercials take. And like on NXT, you can have a high profile match and it goes to commercial break and it's maybe 2 seconds. You have 30 seconds, if that, maybe 15 seconds for a spot for the WWE Network or a spot for WWE Shop, and it's back to the action. Not on Raw and SmackDown where you have to have 4, 5, 6 minutes of commercials in between. So you're missing out on a lot of the match. I mean, yes, on SmackDown Live outside of the main event, you do most of the time get picture-in-picture, so you get to see what's happening and you can actually watch the match if you want to. Monday Night Raw does not get that treatment. Monday Night Raw, you lose on a lot of action in a match. And I mean, yes, there was at one time before the network was a thing that WWE had their app show what's going on during the commercial break, which I wish they would have kept that, because that would have made that. I used to do that too. I used to actually be one of those people who would watch the app, so when the show went to commercial break, I'm not missing anything. And this match it was a good TV match, minus the ending, of course, but it did, of course, suffer because of commercial breaks, and there's nothing you can do about that. Jinder Mahal was on TV tonight. Enough said. Jinder Mahal went up against Braun Strowman, and yeah, we'll talk about that later. Let's see what else we got here. Bobby Lashley was in Elias. We know where this is going. Bobby Lashley interrupted Elias and sang Rockin' Robin with Elias. It was bad enough we had Baron Corbin singing Itsy Bitsy Spider for Finn Balor on the way to, I believe it was Extreme Rules. Now you have Bobby Lashley, who says, I don't like to sing, I don't sing, I fight, singing Rockin' Robin. Oh, the Hanks. Oh, wanting to change the channel. Oh, my goodness. The biggest thing of the entire night outside of the opening promo for Roman Reigns is that Brock Lesnar refused to come out to. They showed Brock Lesnar at the beginning of the show after they showed the title card for a tribute card for Nikolai Volkov and Brian Christopher. I will talk about that at the end of the show. But they showed him at the beginning of the show, and Paul Heyman said that Brock Lesnar will come out if he feels like coming out. Kurt Angle comes to him and is like, listen, if he's not out there by the end of the night, you will lose your job with WWE. And majority of the night was Paul Heyman doing everything he could to get Brock Lesnar and plead and beg with him to get him to come to the ring. So that was a running gag all night. And before we get into everything, did you know that there was a pay-per-view for an all-women's pay-per-view happening on October 28th? Because I sure as hell didn't know. With all the plunging it down their throats that they did for the last week. Last week on Monday Night Raw, they had the announcement. Then 3 or 4 times, I swear, in Monday Night Raw, they had they had Braun Strowman say something. You had all the women who were shown on TV show something. You had 2 replays of the entire announcement on Monday Night Raw last week. Then we go to Tuesday Night SmackDown Live. And what do? You have AJ Styles say something. You have a bunch of women say it there. You have 1 or 2 replays of what happened the night before. Then what do we get to tonight? We show another highlight replay of what happened last week. We have all of August and all of September and majority of October to get through until we get to this pay-per-view. Why in the fuck are we still shoving this down our throats? Let it go. This is SummerSlam. This is the build to SummerSlam. Talk about SummerSlam. I do not care about women's WWE Evolution right now. That is in October. I will care when the Super Show is over in Australia and we're on the road to WWE Evolution. Until then, zip it and worry about it behind the scenes. Do not bring it forward anymore. I do not want to come to SmackDown Live tomorrow. I don't want to be on SmackDown Live tomorrow and see kaboom. We have another replay. Or this is what happened last Monday on Raw. We had the Women's Evolution pay-per-view being announced. Let it go. Let it go. Period. You also had Alicia Fox who faced Natalya tonight, being talked to about Women's WWE Evolution by Alexa Bliss. Good grief. Leave it be. We do not need to hear it again. Enough is enough, and leave it alone. It's great for them if it's done right. I have no problem with a all women's pay-per-view if it's done right. But this is overkill. This is absolutely overkill. We need to be promoting SummerSlam. SummerSlam is the next pay-per-view. Then we go from SummerSlam, we go to Hell in a Cell. When we go to after we're done with Hell in a Cell, we go to the Super Show in Australia. After Australia's show, we go to Evolution. That's how it goes. You don't need to promote this thing anymore. Leave it, put it to bed until we get to the time to advertise for it. And that is in October after the Super Show. Of course, with the Super Show happening, I believe that's going to be 2 weeks before the WWE Evolution. Will WWE even have time to have a show built up for WWE Evolution outside of NXT and the Mae Young Classic? We will see. We will see, but enough of it already. Enough. show opened up here. We did have ourselves a tribute to Brian Christopher and Nikolai Volkov. I will talk about all that later. I was not around or alive when Nikolai Volkov was big, and when Brian Christopher was at the height of his power, the height of his popularity. I wasn't around either because I was watching WCW, unfortunately. But that's later. Then we see Brock Lesnar in the back with Paul Heyman, in his nice, cozy, cushy little locker room. We have, then of course, who's going to start Monday Night Raw? Oh, I don't know. Who's going to be the first person to come out? But the number one contender to the WWE Universal Championship. And Roman Reigns comes out and starts talking and is interrupted by Paul Heyman.
I said a lot of different things about Bobby Lashley, but after going to war with him a couple times, I can honestly say I respect Bobby Lashley. That's a lot more than I can say for Brock Lesnar because I have absolutely zero respect for that fool. The guy never shows up. He never has time to actually come to work, but oddly, he has plenty of time to show up to the UFC. He has plenty of time to walk up in that octagon, get in Daniel Cormier's face, and run his mouth. But Brock is here tonight, and I guarantee you one thing, Miami. Brock will not come up in my yard, get up in my face, and run his mouth up in here.
Again, we are in Miami, Florida, home of The Rock, which is his blood cousin. Again, do not be fooled by the reaction he got tonight. This is Miami, Florida. This is not New York City, Brooklyn, New York, where they are going to eviscerate this match. This was a one-night-only thing where he got any type of pop. This is not going to be the normal for Roman, and he did get "You Suck" chance when he came out to the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, forgive me, Mr. Reigns, my client has authorized me to offer you his most profound congratulations for your victory last week over Bobby Lashley, ensuring you a title opportunity against the Beast at SummerSlam. But you can mark my words, Roman Reigns. This is not a prediction. This is a spoiler. At SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar is going to put down the big dog and go on to UFC and become a two-sport champion. Just shut up, Paul.
I knew they would cut it out because it's the damn truth. Paul Heyman comes out, and the very first thing he pretty much says is, the definition of insanity, which we've all said this before, the definition of insanity, and this rings true to the Roman agenda that we've had for 4 motherfucking years, is doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, expecting a different result. He actually said that on WWE TV, and of course they cut it out because WWE doesn't want you to think that what they've been doing for the last 4 fucking years has been insane. Has been them doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, expecting a different result, which is exactly what they're doing here. They're doing the same thing they did they are doing the same thing they did leading up to WrestleMania, only they're turning it up as much as they can and having Brock Lesnar say, I don't care about the show, I don't watch the show, I don't care about the fans. They're just trying to do the same thing again and again and again. If Roman Reigns' push was a person, they would be in the insane asylum with how much it's been the same thing every single year for 4 years straight. Oh yeah, he gets eviscerated by Paul Heyman on the mic, and all he can say is, just shut up, Heyman. That's your comeback, Roman? That's your comeback.
We don't care about anything you have to say. We're here to see Brock Lesnar, so bring him out here. Ladies and gentlemen, my client, Brock Lesnar, is here right now in the American Airlines Arena in Miami, Florida. And he is sitting in the comfort of his luxurious locker room, and he will come out here when feels like it. I'm not done yet. And if, only if, he feels like coming out.
Smoke again.
But Roman Reigns, don't worry, because at SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar will do. Well, what? What's he gonna do? Is he gonna actually show up to SummerSlam? As a matter of fact, if he actually shows up, I want you to remember this. Go ahead and write this down. If Brock Lesnar shows up to SummerSlam, I'm gonna send him back to the UFC. But he's not going back as the Beast. He's going back as Roman Reigns.
Yeah, whatever. No, he's not. I'm sorry, Roman. You're the one with the nickname the Big Dog. So who's the bitch? Just saying, who's the bitch? Of course, they were going to cut out the biggest part about that, where he actually said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again and expecting a different result. It just is what it is. But that's WWE's agenda. They think they're doing what they can, and that's just WWE for you. We would see Roman Reigns later in the night, but we'll get to that later. Let's see here. We had Baron Corbin versus Finn Balor. Who wanted to see this match, Extreme Rules? I'll wait. Did you want to see it tonight? No. What did you think who did you think was going to win this match? Let's see. But Finn Balor won at Extreme Rules. We got to get this match at SummerSlam. So how are we going to do that if Finn Balor wins? Of course, Baron Corbin won. This was a pretty decent match. It was probably, I believe, better than their match at Extreme Rules. But Baron Corbin ends up hitting a end of days after dodging a coup de grace for the 1, 2, 3. Post-match, he gets back in the ring, picks up Balor, who fights back a little bit, but Corbin tosses him to the outside, takes his head, puts it on the top of the barricade, and just rains elbows down on Finn's head, like, massively. And that's what led to that. Let's see what we got here. Then we had Paul Heyman in the back. Paul Heyman was in the back trying to get his cell phone fixed because earlier, before the match with Baron Corbin, actually, before that match, Paul Heyman goes in and tells Brock Lesnar what Roman Reigns just said. Brock Lesnar's like, no, I don't watch the show. You know I don't watch the show. Why would I watch the show? And Paul Heyman gives him his phone, wants him to try and see what Roman Reigns said, because Roman said he's going to be his bitch. And he tosses Paul Heyman's phone into a wall and pretty much shatters it. They don't have the clip for it, but Angle comes to Paul Heyman and is like, listen, Brock Lesnar's supposed to be out there tonight. He's contractually obligated to be out in the ring tonight. If he doesn't, then your contract with WWE is going to be terminated. And Paul Heyman is not happy about that. Then, of course, as I said earlier, we get the Evolution shit shoved down our throat again. Then our next match was Natalya with Ronda Rousey in her corner versus Alicia Fox with Alexa Bliss in her corner. Reason Alicia Fox is in this match is apparently Mickie James was injured over the weekend. I have not heard anything about this, so it probably is just storyline. But Alicia Fox and Natty have a pretty short match. Ronda Rousey gets up on the apron after Alicia Fox throws a kick her way. That distracts the referee. Natty gets hit with an elbow from Alexa Bliss. Boot to the face, and your winner is Alicia Fox. After the match, Ronda Rousey chases down Bliss, gets her into the ring, Fox intervenes and gets hit with Ronda Rousey's like twisting whatever that slam thing is. Rousey chases after Bliss again. This kind of irks me a little bit because you have Ronda Rousey lay out Alicia Fox with whatever that twisting slam she calls. I don't know what they call it, but that twisting slam she does. Fox no-sells it literally. She like literally no-sells it. Comes out, gets Ronda Rousey from behind, throws her into the barricade and beats her down. Pretty much just setting, like knocking, like taking her down. And Bliss and Fox leave without any grief. We get to the back, and Ronda Rousey is not happy with what just happened. So Kurt Angle books a match for next week.
I am so tired of Alexa and Mickey, Alexa and Alicia, Alexa and whoever else she happens to be using at the moment. I'm back from suspension. I'm looking for a fight. Please don't make me wait for SummerSlam. I'm just going to get suspended.
Okay. I understand. Let's make this official right now. Next week, you'll go one-on-one against Alicia Fox, your first ever match on Monday Night Raw.
Right.
And the crowd's booing because it's not happening tonight.
Great to be back.
Great to have you.
So yes, that's right. Alicia Fox will be the first victim of Ronda Rousey on Monday Night Raw. Now, do you remember that match February, January, like earlier this year when Asuka still had her undefeated streak and she went up against Dana Brooke? Dana Brooke said she was going to be the one to beat Asuka. Bell rings, Asuka flips her around, puts her in the armbar, and she taps out. That's what this match should be exactly next week. Alicia Fox comes in this match, crazy as a fox or whatever they want to call her. She goes to attack Ronda Rousey, judo flips her, puts her in the armbar, she taps out, and that is it. That is all that match should be. Frankly, that should be the match at SummerSlam. She judo flips Alexa Bliss, puts her in the armbar, and that's it. That should be your match next week for Alexa Bliss. I'm not Alexa Bliss, but Alicia Fox and Ronda Rousey. And then we're in the back, and Paul Heyman pleads with Brock Lesnar to go out to the ring. Which Brock Lesnar, they're just pushing this so much to get people to boo Brock Lesnar. And I know when we get to New York and Brooklyn, the New York crowd is going to probably boo both guys and just shit all over the match like they did in New Orleans.
Obviously I didn't, Paul. I don't watch the show, Paul. Why would I watch the show? You need to hear and see what Roman Reigns said about you. Hold on, I'll pull it up. Look at this. Here. Just press in my code. 00741. That one right there? Yes.
That was the first segment.
The affirmation for Brock Lesnar was overwhelming. If you go outside to the ring, even for just minutes, I'm telling you, Miami is going to give Brock Lesnar the conquering hero's welcome that only he deserves. You have no idea how under my skin you are getting right now. I don't give a crap about the WWE Universe. In fact, I don't give a crap if I'm here right now, Paul. I'd much rather be at home on my couch in my house. Now, why don't you go do something like get me a steak, medium well, baked potato, steamed broccoli. Get out of here, please. Beat it.
Good grief.
Hi, Stephanie.
Yeah, so that right there, it's like you're having Brock Lesnar actually say that thing, like, yeah, I don't care about the WWE Universe. I don't care about the show. We know that already. We've known that. It's not like it's not like it's a secret. It is WWE just trying to hide the fact that Brock Lesnar does not care. We've known that. If he cared, then he would be there a lot more. We know this already. Trying to shove it down our throats is just ridiculous. Later in the show, Baron Corbin gives a phone to Kurt Angle, who, of course, who do you think is going to be on the phone?
Stephanie, you know how this will look, right? Our fans on Raw are going to be very disappointed. Yes, I know you don't care. Yeah, I know you're just trying to protect the main event at SummerSlam.
Corbin just sitting there laughing the entire time.
There has to be some other way. I understand. Okay. Enjoy the rest of the show.
And we'll get to what that was later on. Elias comes out and, oh boy. Ladies
and gentlemen, I have done it. I have dropped the greatest album of all time.
It is an EP. It is not a full-length album. A full-length album is not just for act like it's a full-length album. At least make it a full-length album. It's 6 to 12 songs or whatever.
People's lives. They're hearing my words. They're feeling my voice. And as to be expected, I beat out some of the top musicians in the world. I beat out Panic at the Disco. I beat out Post Malone. I even beat out Taylor Swift. Let me hear you say amen. Amen. And it is all because of one reason. It is what the music industry knows, and everyone here knows. It just so happens to be the title of my album. It is that WWE stands for. I said WWE stands for. Now the truth is, I could have beaten Drake, but I was interrupted by Bobby Lashley.
And with those two words, with those few words, we know where this is going. If anybody has been paying attention, what does Bobby Lashley have to do at SummerSlam now that he lost to Roman Reigns? Absolutely nothing. So, what is he going to be doing at SummerSlam? Of course.
I mean, I guess he must have been in a hurry to come out here, embarrass himself, and lose to Roman Reigns. Oh, Miami, don't act like you get it all of a sudden, okay? This is the same city that worships a garbage musician like Pitbull.
Pitbull is garbage.
I mean, this is the same city that worships a lowlife like The Rock. In fact,
that's all I thought.
let me tell you something, The Rock wants no part of Elias, I can guarantee you that. And I wrote a song about the whole thing, so right now I need you all to silence your cell phones, hold your applause, and most importantly, shut your mouths.
Then of course he interrupts.
Well, Elias, first of all, I'm a big fan, and since I heard you say my name out there, I figured I'd come out here and get a front row seat and listen to whatever you have to say.
Is that right? Is that right? You're a big fan, huh? Well, no matter what you say, Bobby Lashley, I can see right through you. And you know what? I know you're not out here because you just want to walk with Elias, but you want to sing with Elias.
No, God, no.
No, Elias, I fight, I don't sing.
That's exactly it. Bobby Lashley wants to sing with Elias. Do you people want to see Bobby Lashley sing with Elias?
God. They do a little rendition of Rockin' Robin, and then of course Bobby Lashley gets attacked from behind by Elias.
really embarrassed his performance here tonight. Now Elias taking it out on Lashley.
Happening like that.
And now Lashley fighting back, and here comes Lashley. Big right hands from the Dominator. There goes Elias. Elias looking like it was a little Stevie Evans that bandana on his head.
All I can say is about Bobby Lashley is it looks like they got him to stop looking like a fake with that smile of his. Like, between his feud with Sami Zayn ending and the feud with Roman Reigns, the smile has seemed to go away, which is great. But we all know where this is going. If you haven't figured it out yet, it's going to be Bobby Lashley versus Elias at SummerSlam. Who wants to see that match? I'll wait. Yeah, I didn't think so. Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin. Before the match, Owens went to the back and tried to kiss up to Baron Corbin because he wanted to try and keep Braun Strowman from cashing in on Brock Lesnar tonight, which of course he did not do because he wants to go to SummerSlam and win the match. Baron Corbin said he'll see what he can do, but that's out of his hands. Brock Lesnar is Kurt Angle's problem, and so you win the match at SummerSlam. The Money in the Bank contract is Braun Strowman's. This match lasted about not even a minute. The bell rang, there was a shove, and I believe something else, and then all of a sudden, out comes, from, I think, the crowd, from the timekeeper's area, Kevin Owens. He grabs the Money in the Bank briefcase, distracting a Braun Strowman who chases after him, and Jinder Mahal wins by countouts. Yay. Yep, this is something else we want to talk about, I guess, if you want to talk about that. Bobby Roode and Mojo Rawley. Mojo Rawley, I have not seen anything in him from the time he was in NXT as his I don't get hype. I stay hype shtick until now. No, I don't see nothing for him. But he comes in the back and he starts bad-mouthing the entire locker room.
Go the other way. Sure, why not?
Yeah, look at you chumps. Look at y'all. I know y'all seeing what's going on out there because I've been running through this roster relentlessly. And I ain't hiding behind a keyboard. I'm here to call everybody out because Mojo Rawley is for real. Tyler Breeze doubted me and you saw what happened to him. No way Jose wanted to know where the Fiesta was at. I showed him where the Fiesta was at. I beat that man so bad, I relegated him back to catering.
Okay, so first things first. No one Jose is garbage. He's a jobber to the stars, and he's done absolutely nothing. They've turned Tyler Breeze, who had all the potential in the world to be a star, into a jobber for the stars, and he is nothing. He was seen in NXT this past weekend. So I kind of think Tyler Breeze got the better of the deal. So Tyler Breeze is now working in NXT again. I think that's going to be beneficial to Tyler Breeze, and Tyler Breeze has actually been upgraded to actually being able to do something. So far, Mojo, you're running through the locker room relentlessly. You faced Tyler Breeze and Noah Jose twice each. So what have you done? Who you've actually faced that matters? Nobody.
Which is exactly where I left this clown right here.
Very funny.
Zack Ryder.
Very funny. What a fantastic speech. Hey, you're in the mood to talk tonight, and none of these guys want to listen anyway. I got a question for you. You got a problem with me?
That's funny, because that's the same question we'll hear later in the night from Brock Lesnar. Or somebody else.
What are you going to do about it, Bobby? Huh? You going to catchphrase me into submission?
And of course, you have the Ascension, you have Rhino and Slater, you have Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. Yes, that's our own tag team that looks like they may be reunited. Mike Kanellis and I think there was one other person sitting there cheering this thing on. And who out of everywhere do we have? A couple referees and Adam Pearce just waiting off screen for their cue to come in to break this thing up. Of course, Adam Pearce, I think his job is just sit there off screen and wait for a brawl to happen so you can pull up with a bunch of referees, because that's all he seems to do. So that leads to a match next week. So next week it'll be, for the two matches that were announced for next week is going to be Ronda Rousey versus Alicia Fox. Sorry, Alicia Fox. And Mojo Rawley versus Bobby Roode. Now the two, I want to see how long Alicia Fox goes before she gets her arm broken by Ronda Rousey next week. It should be about 10 seconds. This match, don't really care. Bobby Roode needs to turn heel quick, or get him to be a serious babyface, because I've seen Bobby Roode as a serious babyface that can actually be a good babyface. What they're doing with him now... What? Oh, yeah, that's right. Moving on here, we had Apollo Crews versus Akam. This match didn't last very long at all. Akam beat the hell out of Apollo Crews for the majority of the match. One misstep, roll up by Apollo Crews, and 1, 2, 3. Akam looks like a fool, and Apollo Crews is your winner. Again, tag team title. The tag team division is trash. Trash. The only good match of the night, we had Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins. The match, of course, Seth Rollins had to start the match early. Drew McIntyre on the outside pulls the ring apron up, hits the steel beam that's right there, like just making sure it's sturdy and everything. Gets Seth Rollins on the ground, positions him underneath the steel beam, and slingshots his throat into the steel beam as they went to break. I'm thinking, oh, this is going to have something to do with the end of the match. Kind of really didn't play any part into the match after the commercial break, so him slingshotting him into the steel beam kind of was pointless. We had a white noise off the middle rope for a 2 count, which was really good. This is awesome chance. These guys went back and forth. They beat the hell out of each other, and then a curb stomp by Seth Rollins. Ziggler comes in and sneak attacks him, causing the DQ. Seth Rollins does fight off. Ziggler continues the attack, but Rollins takes out Ziggler, sending him to the outside, hitting him with a suicide dive, sending him careening. Seth Rollins looks back in the ring and pretty much tells McIntyre, I was this close, like he was like seconds away from beating him. So I don't think Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre are done by a long shot. Then we come to the back, and Roman Reigns, this. Oh my goodness, this. Roman Reigns is forced to leave the building.
And she called me earlier tonight. And since we're going to have Brock Lesnar, he's scheduled to be here tonight, Stephanie asked me to remove you from the building.
I don't care what Stephanie said. Where's Stephanie at?
Yeah, but Roman, you're going to lose your championship opportunity at SummerSlam.
And thus the sympathy gets shoved in our face. Oh, Roman Reigns can't be here tonight, or he loses his championship opportunity. If Roman's in the building, he's going to give me a break. This is just... Oh, I can't wait till SummerSlam's over so we can just get this over with already.
When's this going to stop, man? How long are we going to do this for? I understand the pressures that are on you. I know where you're coming from, but you've been in my shoes. You've been in this position.
Yes.
You're a dog.
Well, Stephanie McMahon has his balls, as we all know. Stephanie McMahon has Kurt Angle's balls in a nice little case on her desk. She had McFoley's balls, but those were given back to him when he was fired. Now she has Kurt Angle's balls in its place.
Champion. I understand all these different angles of how they're putting the pressure on you, but the fact is, not a yes man. Officers.
Is this really necessary? Really?
Corbin with that little smug look on his face. Roman looks back to Corbin, and right to the face. Night, Mr. Corbin. I was waiting for Kurt Angle to have a nice little smug look, a nice little smug smile on his face, but he didn't get one. He just shook his head in like disappointment. So yeah, I figured, Roman's not going to be gone for the rest of the night. When Brock does come out, he's going to come out. But no, we didn't get that tonight. I'm really surprised they didn't go down that route. That's usually typical WWE. Whether it's like, if you don't leave the building now, you're going to lose your championship opportunity. That person still makes it to the end of the night. Roman didn't actually do that tonight, so that was a real shocker. The B team, the leader of the worlds, and Revival bicker a bit. Leads to a brawl between the leader of world and the leader of worlds and the Revival, which ends up leading to a match, which the Revival and the leader of worlds have a nice little match. It was not named it wasn't a number one contenders match, but it might as well have been. The leader of worlds win with a shadow machine. The push of the Hardy of the leader of worlds is officially dead on arrival. It's dead. It wasn't there that much as it was, but it is dead. Riot Squad versus Bayley and Banks. This match was It was what it was. We've seen this match. If you've seen one Bayley and Banks versus Riot Squad where they weren't trying to kill each other with Bayley and Banks, you've seen them all. Bayley and Sasha Banks win with a backstab with Bayley a belly combo. And that was the main event match of the night. We do have ourselves the end of the show, which had Paul Heyman begging for his job because Brock Lesnar would not come out until pretty much Paul Heyman is begging for his job, and it gets interesting. Brock Lesnar stalls Paul Heyman and Kurt Angle afterwards.
Lesnar is not coming out here tonight.
All right, enough. Listen to me. Let me explain to you what a real champion does. He shows up. He defends his title at all costs.
So why did you put
the WWE Universe?
So why did you put the Universal Championship on somebody who wasn't going to fucking do that, Vince? Why would you put the title on Brock Lesnar? It has devalued that title. That title is worth less than a paperweight. I have a Mario Amiibo in my hand at this time. This thing in my hand is a Mario Super Smash Bros. Amiibo. This has more value than the Universal Championship. Plain and simple. This little Amiibo toy thing here has more value than the Universal Championship at this time. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, and don't at me.
He does things for charities and communities. Brock Lesnar does none of that. Brock Lesnar.
Gee, Craig, it took you, a year and a half to get your balls back for a minute? Yeah, it took you about a year or so to get your balls back.
Lesnar has to be the worst Universal Champion of all time.
Let's see. Finn Balor had it for about 24 hours. Kevin Owens had it for about 6 or 7 months. Goldberg had it for about a month, and Brock Lesnar's held it since then. Yes, he's been the worst. I guess you could put Balor above that because Balor didn't have a chance to hold the title, and you would put Goldberg there above that. So, in order, it's Kevin Owens, Goldberg, Finn Balor, Brock Lesnar for best to worst in your Universal Champions.
If you want to do something, do it on him. What are you doing it to me for? I tried in your name. I tried all night long. He doesn't care. He doesn't respect you. He doesn't respect any single one of you.
Tell me something I did not already fucking know, Paul Heyman. This has been news to absolutely no one. Absolutely nobody should be surprised that Brock Lesnar does not care. Captain Obvious, thank you, Captain Obvious. I know this. I've known this for 4, 5, 6, 7 years. He's been around since what? 12, so that's 6 years. It's been like this for like 6, 7 years. It's not a surprise. Jeesh. Why are you going down this rabbit hole to try and make it seem like, oh, he doesn't care about the WWE Universe? Tell me the last time Brock Lesnar actually gave a fuck about the WWE Universe. Never? Yes, I know he was on TV a lot more in 2002 to 2004, but he still did not care about the WWE fans or universe then. Why the fuck would he care now? It's no secret, and anybody who falls for this bullshit is a moron.
But I respect you. I think the world of you, Kurt Angle. As a matter of fact, I'd like to have a better working relationship with you.
Your contract is now terminated. You're done, Heyman. You're finished. Get the hell off me. Get off me. Please don't put me.
That's embarrassing.
You have Paul Heyman groveling at Kurt Angle's feet, and behind him you just have Baron Corbin with his hands on his hips, just looking down and laughing hysterically at Paul Heyman's. Oh boy.
Bad for
And let's smile back on Paul Heyman. Hold on. He asked, did you have a problem with me to Kurt Angle? He asked the Baron Corbin, and all of a sudden...
Oh, no! Oh, my God!
Kurt Angle.
General manager! Kurt Angle didn't even do anything!
And Constable Corbin wisely stepping out of harm's way. I don't even think the Constable is safe from the Universal Champion. Brock Lesnar has been in a mood all night.
I guess that was a rhetorical question.
Well, they're loving this together, aren't they?
Now here, I thought he was going to F5 Paul Heyman for what Paul Heyman said, but I was wrong.
Oh, no!
Grabs him by the face.
What are you doing? No! You're hurting me! You're hurting me! Look at him! You're hurting me! See that? No! I can't breathe! Brock, I can't breathe! Brock, I can't breathe! Brock, I can't breathe! I can't breathe!
Enjoy it for one night, Vince. Enjoy it for one night. Enjoy it for one night. So yeah, that's how Monday Night Raw went off the air with Paul Heyman and Kurt Angle pretty much in pain from an F5 and Heyman getting his mouth smashed in. That was Monday Night Raw. Now let me say something about what happened yesterday. We had 3 deaths. I did not know anything about Brickhouse Brown. Nikolai Volkov. I was not even a twinkle on my daddy's eye when Nikolai Volkov was at the height of his day. The only thing that I know of Nikolai Volkov is because I watched the Monday Night Raws I watched every Monday Night Raw up to 2004, and during the new era of Monday Night Raw, you had Ted DiBiase with the $1 Million Club, or whatever they were called, the $1 Million Corporation, whatever it was called, and he had Nikolai Volkov as his, pretty much his bitch, pretty much. And that was just like what I saw of Nikolai Volkov. Nikolai Volkov, I know, he was a great wrestler, and he was a great heel in his day. He was the Russian sympathizer. He was the guy who sang, he sang the Russian national anthem before his bouts and everything. And not much you can say that there were 3 passings yesterday. And I guess Trevor Lee's dad in Impact Wrestling also had a passed away as well. So condolences to his family as well. But I didn't know much about Nikolai Volkov other than what you see on WWE when they show it and everything else. And it is sad to see wrestlers pass on. It does suck. He did have a nice long life. He was probably still active in, I didn't know he was in bad health either. Now, speaking of Brian Christopher, Brian Lawler, Grandmaster Sexay, the last time anybody that I remember seeing him was at the NXT Arrival when Too Cool reunited to take on the Ascension. I did see what him and Scott Taylor start out as Too Much in the Attitude Era, pre-Attitude Era, and then Survivor Series of, what was it, 99? Yeah, Survivor Series of 99, up until he was fired. Him and Scotty 2 Hotty having a hell of a time, having a ball, being too cool, doing the whole dance routine with Rikishi until he turned heel months and months, like a year later. It sucks to see how things happened and how things happened with him. He was in jail for I think it was public drunkenness and evading arrest, which his dad would always bail him out, but he wanted to teach him a lesson to, hey, I bailed you out enough. I can only bail you out so many times. And I will talk about probably more of this because there is a full statement on Saturday's Unscripted for Brian Lawler and everything else. But it does suck to see a young life be lost so soon. He was only 46 years old. That is he's about twice my age almost. About twice my age almost, yeah. So it sucks to see somebody go so quickly. Hopefully, I send all my condolences to the Lawler family, to the Volkovs. I don't know what his actual name is, but Volkov's family and everybody who's lost a loved one this past weekend or this past Sunday in the wrestling world. It sucks to see wrestlers go, but everybody has a time on this earth, and when it does come, whether it's via natural causes, suicide, or whatever it was our time to go. And everybody's going to pass on eventually, and just make the best out of your life while you have it, because you never know what could happen. You could walk outside and start walking towards your car, and something can end up especially if your car is out on the streets and you go to get into your car because it's on the road, your door's on the roadside, and you go to get in your car and somebody hits you because they were speeding and you don't live. You just gotta you make every day special, like it wasn't just like with NXT. I'm gonna use this analogy here. NXT takeovers, every single takeover that Triple H does, he wants to make the next one better than the last. So, as anybody in this world, trying to make the day or tomorrow as better than the day you had before, so you can have a happy life. That doesn't mean just do whatever, do what makes you happy. If it's dating somebody that you that people don't agree with, as long as they make you happy, fine. If it's a job that you want to have that you don't nobody thinks you can do, if you want to go do it, do it. If say you want to be a content creator on YouTube like I am here, like other people are too, go and do that if you want to, if you really like to do that and it makes you happy. Don't try and do don't just try and be a robot or something and just follow orders. Do what makes you happy, and you will have. But you do what makes you happy, and follow the Jimmy V. If you ever heard Jim Valvano, laugh, think, and cry every single day, and you will have a heck of a day. But I will talk more about Brian Lawler and everything that's come out. There is a full statement on what happened with him. I will talk about that on Saturday. We will be here tomorrow for SmackDown Live, NXT on Wednesday, and Unscripted on Saturday. And so then make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like this video, or dislike it, whichever you want to do. Make sure to leave me a comment down below as well. Find me on Twitter at TheFrance. Hit that follow button over there. Find me on twitch.tv/TheFrance08. Been playing a lot of Fortnite lately. I'm not the best Fortnite player in the world, but we have fun while you do it. You can come in, joke around and everything, make fun of how bad I'm doing, if I am doing bad, and, just try and have some fun. Until then, my name is TheFrance, and I will see you guys later.